Hello and welcome to the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as David Pumpkins. Any questions? I am
never
obviously
referred to you as that.
It's the shirt. Sitting next to me is someone not familiar with SNL sketches. It's Makayla Perkins, obviously not my vice mayor, but the
Much
queen
better
of
looking
murder.
than the vice
Oh,
mayor.
absolutely.
In my opinion.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
Welcome.
Jesse.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Just right away. We're just slandering Jesse right out of the gate.
Jesse's never going to let me back on this
No,
podcast.
never again. But thank you guys for joining us. Of course, this show is brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use our code of PHNX. And for betting $5 on any team to win, you will get $200 in free bets if they win that game. It's that simple. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That code again is PHNX. Again, I'm joined by Mac. Mac is back, and we are going to talk some baseball. The World Series starts today. No more that one day without baseball. That sucked, but we're back to World Series baseball. Big matchup between the Astros and obviously the Braves, who we're all a big fan of around here.
117th World Series.
The 117th World Series.
Yeah.
Fun fact. There's a lot of them. Do you think people are getting tired of them? Is that why baseball is just running out of steam?
We're just like counting down. All right, here comes another one. 118 next year.
All right, so let's take a look at the Braves versus the Astros matchup that we have going on. Obviously, two teams that are very close in their regular season stats. I think all the teams in the playoffs have experienced key losses, but these are pretty big for both of these clubs. I think they have both overcome the loss of the Astros with the loss of Lance McCullers Jr. and the Braves on the other side with Ronald Acuna Jr. Both sides have had guys step up. But as you see there, both division champs, similar winning percentages, team ERAs, and team batting averages. So as far as this matchup goes, it's a pretty close matchup across the board as far as the numbers go. Right now, it seems like the Atlanta Braves definitely are the hottest team in baseball. They have been since essentially the trade deadline when they made moves to kind of bolster their roster. So I got to ask, what are your thoughts on this World Series?
Well, I'm happy for the Braves. I'm the most excited that the Braves made it to the World Series. Obviously, it's the first time since 1999 that they've made it to the Fall Classic. So very happy for the Braves. I was pulling for them the whole time. I hated pretty much every team in the National League playoffs, and especially the Dodgers. Watching the Dodgers get sent home in the NLCS was just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So super excited for the Braves. I'm not a fan of any of the AL teams. I could care less who came out of the AL as long as they get beat by the NL team. So bummed that the Astros are there again. Not a big Astros girl. I still think they cheated and don't deserve their World Series title.
See? There it
so
is.
Not a big fan of the Astros, but I also hate the Red Sox. So it was a lose-lose situation for me. I just hoped both teams lost. So
yeah, they couldn't just tie and give it directly to the Braves without a World
exactly.
Series.
So I'm definitely pulling for the Braves. I have the Braves winning in 6.
All right.
It's going to be a great World Series, though, in my opinion. I think it's obviously the highlight of this World Series is, Houston's offense versus the Braves pitching rotation, who I think they have, their top 3 pitchers are pretty solid. And I think that's definitely going to be a highlight, is watching, to see if the Astros can figure out their the Braves pitching. But I think it's going to be a great World Series. I'm really excited to watch. It's going to be action-packed.
I'm really surprised the Astros made it here without McCullers, and I wanted to ask you that because just he was their most dominant pitcher this year, and to have to lose him, essentially the word was that he might have been back for this series, but he couldn't even get the throwing program started, so he will be out for the World Series. Who is a bigger loss, him for the Astros or Acuna for the Braves?
I mean, obviously you never want to lose Acuna Jr. He is incredibly talented.
It's a bummer he's not here.
I know. I'm heartbroken.
Player, right?
I love him. I think he's got obviously a really exciting career ahead of him, but the fact that he's not here for this is a huge bummer. But you obviously never want to lose a player like that, but I think the more detrimental loss is losing McCullers, because the Astros came into the season already down a Justin Verlander, so that's detrimental. Justin Verlander, probably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. You could argue DeGrom, whoever, but so coming into the season without Justin Verlander, obviously horrible. Zach Greinke is in a weird, like, non-stretched out phase of I don't know what's going on
There
with
was
him.
word he might start in Game 4 of this series,
Yeah.
and that again, it seems like it would be another weird opener situation, almost like he's a
Right.
relief pitcher rather than him actually getting the start. But
Yeah,
I imagine it's
so
all depends on how he does.
yeah, I mean, you have those two out or experiencing weird issues. McCullers is super talented, and not having him in your rotation, I think, is very detrimental to the Astros because now they have to rely on like Valdez, Garcia, who's a rookie, Urquidy. I just don't. I think losing McCullers is going to be the difference maker in this series for Houston, and the fact that they don't have him is more detrimental because the pitching that they do have to use and rely on, they're either rookies, they're not experienced. I mean, I'm trying to think of their one guy who, Garcia, he does not do well against left-handed batters. And
That's pretty much
the Braves
lineup.
Yeah, the Braves lineup is all left-handed batters.
Yeah.
So they're going to, like, if the Astros if the Astros have a chance at winning, it's going to be how they figure out how to use like this battered rotation and their bullpen that they're going to have to try to like strategically place to figure out how they can beat the Braves. But I think losing McCullers is huge, and I think that's going to be the defining factor in this series.
How big of a role does a team like Atlanta being here make a difference in a World Series like this? And now I'll just tell you, I've used the pro wrestling, obviously, analogy, prior to with Jesse.
I'm not going to get any of this reference.
No.
I hope you know. It's just going to go.
It's the classic good guy versus bad guy kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Whereas, like, if the Dodgers would have made it in, it would have been more of a bad guy versus bad guy.
Yeah, it'd been like the.
I mean, outside of those, right? Well, outside of those two fan bases, don't get political.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. No, but outside of those two fan bases, who would want to watch that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I don't think there's anybody there for a casual viewer to root for, whereas, at least this Braves team, especially with the losses they've experienced and the way they've kind of still gotten to this point, even though that they weren't really considered to be a favorite to even, make it this far.
Yeah.
It's that team that everybody can root for.
Right. Look, I don't think anybody outside of the city of Houston is cheering for the Astros.
No.
And I think the Braves are very well aware that right now they're America's team.
Yeah.
Like everybody is pulling for the Braves right now. So right. I hope that they can use that and feed off that energy and, make everybody in the country except for the city of Houston happy, because I really don't want to watch Houston win another World Series. So I'm hoping that the Braves can capitalize on being America's team.
It's wild to me. Jose Altuve has almost half as many home runs in the postseason as the D-backs do as a franchise in the postseason, right?
Crazy.
I mean, you can hate them. I think it's easy to hate them just for their success if you're not a fan, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens with really good teams. They start to venture into that territory when they're there so much that they do become the villain naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You factor in what the Astros did. Oh my God, they're absolutely the villain of this story. And I mean, they have to wear that, right? Like that's kind of the reputation risk you take when you do stuff like this. Like at the end of the day, MLB didn't really punish them that much, but I mean, society and the fans, they'll punish the hell out of them.
I think we need to punish them more.
Yeah, no, I know. But don't punish yourself. Go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our code of PHNX. Win yourself $200 free in free bets by simply betting $5 on any team to win, and obviously having that team win. I would stay away from the Cardinals this week. That's just me.
Derek,
have
a little faith.
It's a dangerous game. If you want to win your $200, I'm pretty sure there's some games that might be a little bit more of a sure thing. So maybe seek those out. Or, you know what, if you're like our guy Johnny, who promises he won't pick against the Cardinals for the rest of the season, bet on him. Go do it. Go put your money where your mouth is. You can do whatever you want on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, including same game parlays, which I have been a big fan of. I like especially when I get like 5 out of the 6 legs and just miss on one. That's a great time. But no, I don't. I was saying it sarcastically. I will say, though, that there's nothing better than hitting. I did the other night on the Saints game. That was a lot of fun. I had weird ups and downs with the selections I made, and I somehow guided myself to a $105 victory. on some free money. So you too can. You too can. I don't know.
You can too.
You can too. Thank you. I appreciate you figuring my words out for me. By downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and again, use our code of PHNX, and you'll get those $200 in free bets for betting $5 on any team as long as that team wins. 21 and over only, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Dial 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
I said Braves in 6. What are you thinking? What's yours?
I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be Astros in 6. The opposite of what you said. And I'm just going with experience. That's pretty much the one thing I have. I think that the Astros have been there before. The one thing the Braves have
they really though?
They have a lot of those players on that team have been there before, and they have playoff experience. They went to 5 championship series in a row, which only 3 teams historically have done since they implemented the ALCS and NLCS. So they're in some pretty elite company. Interestingly enough, though, one of the other teams is the Atlanta Braves in the 90s when they had Maddox and Glavine and those guys there. So it's just this, right now they have that, at least that playoff experience going for them. And I think that might give them the edge, but we'll see. I can't wait to find out. And honestly, I hope I'm wrong. But I am happy that the Dodgers are out of it. And I am not even making that a secret. You can go read my article on gophnx.com where I talk about how money can buy you happiness and a whole lot of regular season wins, but it can't buy you a World Series. And I back it up with some facts about how many teams exactly have won it that were the top spender over the last 10 years. So go check that out on gophnx.com. You can become a member, either an annual member, and you'll get a free t-shirt from the phnxlocker.com, or a month-to-month option where you'll get your first month for just 50 cents. So go do that. Go do that right now. Become part of the family. You'll get on part of our Discord, which I'm going to continue to say wrong, and get away from the BS on social media and talk with us and fellow like-minded individuals about sports and baseball and all of this stuff. And you can go on there and give your suggestions for if you think the Cardinals are going to win or not. But I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm staying away from that one with my money. I do want to talk briefly, though, about that article and how much money the Dodgers did spend. They did have the biggest payroll in baseball at $267.2 million. And while I was taking a look at that article, I know this is information that isn't new. I know a lot of people know the D-backs spent significantly less, but the D-backs spent the least in the NL West on payroll at $88.7 million. And I guess my question is, when the season ends up like this and you look over at a team like the Padres, who spent $178.2 million, nearly $100 million more than the D-backs in payroll, just to also not make the playoffs. I mean, is it one of those things that you're like, well, at least they saved money, I mean, it didn't seem like this was going to be a competitive team, so it didn't feel like spending that extra money this year was going to get them over that hump.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Like, baseball is a really hard sport to figure out in terms of managing a team, managing a successful team, building a successful team. And when you look at what the Dodgers did and the Padres did, you can look at a team that spent money right, and you can look at a team that didn't spend money right. So, having money to spend is important and it's helpful. I mean, obviously, if you look at the Yankees, you look at the Dodgers, you look at the Cubs, you look at any big market team, having the capital to go out and bring in high talent is extremely important. But, like you said, spending money isn't going to guarantee you're winning a World Series. You have to spend your money smartly, like wisely. You have to make sure that the money you're spending is good investments. You can look all around baseball and see examples of a lot of money being spent, but it not turning out because it was a bad investment. In my personal opinion, Madison Bumgarner was a bad investment.
He's a lot of that. He's a lot of that.
He's a lot of that
88 million.
And that was a bad investment. He's a pitcher at the end of his career, and you just don't go out and spend money on old pitchers. In my opinion, that's my philosophy. You can look at the Rockies. For 3 seasons ago, they spent $110 million on a bullpen who had one of the worst years as a bullpen collectively ever. And so it's like, I see your point by, like, if they're not going to spend money, at least, make sure you're not spending money strategically, because at this point, I don't think the Diamondbacks could spend enough money to compete with the Dodgers for at least a couple of years because I mean the Dodgers have a lot of things working for them. They have the fact that they have a lot of capital to acquire really good talent, but they also have an extremely well developed farm system that just seems to be producing extremely talented prospects out the wazoo.
It's not even fair. It's like they have the deep pockets and the deep
farm system. So I don't see how the Diamondbacks are going to be able to compete with the Dodgers for a while. And so if you're gonna try to retool your farm system to save yourself money and see if you can like home grow some of that talent, this might be the best time to do it because I think the Dodgers are going to be extremely competitive for at least the next 4 years.
Here's the problem, in my opinion. All those California teams are going to continue to spend money, period, because they're going to continue to have people come out and watch their product, right? Mm-hmm. I say I would too, Jacob. And then I'd make him a designated hitter. But I would say that when it comes to like the popularity of those teams, the way that they can fill a ballpark during a regular season, it's just different. Mm-hmm. The Diamondbacks being conservative kind of matched not only what this team ended up doing, but it matched the fan attendance that they expected. Yeah, I know that they were being conservative because they still didn't know when they were going to be at 100% capacity. Yeah, but I bet they didn't even think that they were going to be at like 15% capacity. Like
the whole whole
season, right? I mean, they really can't compete when they're not generating revenue at the ballpark like these other teams are. And I know some of the other teams don't have ballparks that are nearly as big as Chase Field, but making it an attraction, an event, having those ballparks filled makes people want to go. It's kind of like the Suns playoffs last year. Like, yes, there was part of me that just wanted to go watch the Suns in the playoffs, but more than anything, watching that atmosphere on TV made me want to go be a part of it. Yeah. I can't imagine as a fan watching the atmosphere at Chase Field and wanting to go be a part of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't look very fun to me. But the D-backs also spent nearly $40 million less than the league average. So obviously when they're, going on the conservative side, they went pretty conservative this year as one of the bottom, I think, 5 teams in spending. So I mean, I applaud them for their stinginess, but I will say that I think that we're in a position where they need to get some of this young talent, kind of at a major league level and performing. And then once they see that they have a good base that they can build around, then they can supplement with that, high cost talent that they're going to have to get from free agency. It's going to need to happen, though. There's no way around it. If they want to compete with the Dodgers, they're going to have to spend, and they're going to have to spend more than, $88 million. That's for sure, which is like 1/2 is Bumgarner's salary.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, I tell you where they can save some money, because I know that they like the team to stay looking good on road trips and at home. They can save money at manscaped.com, Makayla. They can do it using our code of PHNX to get 20% off and free shipping. And I'm going to keep this one nice and clean because she's here.
Oh
right?
My gosh.
But I could read from the ad and talk about, there's this thing with bloody balls and all sorts of gross. Yeah, I'm telling you, I didn't write these.
Oh
but
my God.
You can get the package for your package over at manscaped.com. And again, there's all sorts of great additional items, including free pair of boxers and some other free gifts for you over at Manscaped. So again, use our code of PHNX and you will get 20% off plus free shipping. And also use our code of PHNX over at DraftKings Sportsbook app. You can do that, make a $5 bet, and if your team wins, you will get $200 in free bets instantly. I have a game today because I'm not just flying through the Manscaped ad in honor of Makayla, but I have a game today in honor of Makayla. It's Halloween season. I'm dressed in this ridiculous shirt. So today we are going to play a game I like to call Murdered Murderer Murmurer.
Murder.
Yeah. Put that on your license plate and see if a cop can figure it out. Murdered Murderer Murmurer. All right. Here is the game. This is a horror movie scenario. I am going to give you 3 members of the D-backs. Okay. And you have to tell me Who would be the first one to go?
Can we give them a context behind this game really quick? Because
Yeah.
I feel like people are going to be like, what is happening?
Well, okay, first of all, Makayla loves murder.
I love murder.
That's the context of this game. She's a big fan of murder documentaries.
I love murder.
She's furious that we're never going to find out why the Zodiac Killer did what he did.
Okay, I feel like I don't want people to think I'm a serial killer. I've never murdered anybody.
Okay, allegedly. Okay.
And the concept of me loving murder is because I love the psychology behind murder. Like, I love to figure out why people do the things that they do.
Okay.
And so, when it comes to serial killers, obviously their brains are like wired differently than ours are.
Yes.
So like, I love the psychology behind like what makes a serial killer a serial killer. And that's why I love murder, is because I'm so interested in knowing why these people are just like built different and like what makes them snap and like actually like murder people.
Do you watch these things like before you go to bed and such?
Yes.
Is that when
Oh
you're
my
like
gosh.
your favorite time to watch it?
Yes.
Just so
I
you can
love
like
murder.
dream about murder? Yeah. Okay. Well, again,
It's a great outlet for aggression
she
too.
says
I
she's
go home
not
and I
a
dream
serial
of just
killer.
like murdering like Derek, and it just like makes me feel so much better.
oh my God. It's the shirt. It's the
Just
shirt.
kidding.
All right. So here's the game.
Okay.
We're in a horror movie. I'm going to give you 3 members of the D-backs. You need to tell me who the first one to be murdered in a horror movie would be.
Okay.
Who would survive until the end,
Okay.
and who in this scenario would be the murderer.
Okay.
The horror movie villain,
First
if
to
you
get
will.
murdered, the
Yep.
person to survive, and the person doing the murdering.
So I'm going to give you 3. Your first 3 are Tori Lavello,
Okay.
Mike Hazen, and Ken Kendrick.
Oh God. All right. Well, Ken Kendrick is definitely the murderer.
The murderer. Okay. All
Ken
right.
Kendrick has some skeletons in his closet.
All right.
I can't confirm or deny that. I don't really
You've
know.
been listening. There's too much Suns news going on. In
I
this
feel
building,
like
so
Ken
I feel
Kendrick could like
right.
murder somebody
Uh-huh.
because he also has the money to get away with it, right? I'm about to go off on some crazy conspiracy
No,
theories,
that's a
so
good
I just hope
point.
you're ready for
Okay.
this.
Yeah. No, this is good.
Listen, guys.
Okay.
When it comes to murder, I could talk about this forever.
Okay.
So just stick with me here.
All right.
Okay, Ken Kendrick is definitely the murderer because he has money to get away with it, and he's going to pay off people and keep people silent.
Okay.
Hush money, the whole thing. Or you could just pay a hitman, honestly, but that still counts as being a murderer.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I'm on
Okay.
board with that. All right. So who's your first one to go in this horror movie?
Between who are my 2 other options?
Tori Lavello and Mike Hazen, and who survives? Who makes it to the end of the movie?
I think Mike Hazen makes it to the end of the movie. I think Mike Hazen
Mm.
survives. He's very analytical. He's very smart. I feel like he can like strategize some ways to get away with it. And I think Tori Lavello gets murdered first. He dies first.
That's awful. That's awful. But that makes sense because he's the nice one,
Yeah.
right? So he's
Well,
like the one that
nice
like
and,
as
like,
a viewer you'd be upset about him
and
going.
also like a lot of people are mad at him, so like there's a lot of reasons to murder him because people are
Wow.
mad that he's the manager and thinks he
Wow.
has horrible managing skills.
Well, then there would
So-
be a lot of suspects, is what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's an easy way for Ken Kendrick to get rid of a manager is just to murder him.
I feel like we went right out of a horror movie. And we're just really
I don't know
booking
what you
this.
expected when you brought up
I don't
murder,
know.
but
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give you another 3.
'Kay.
Madison Bumgarner,
okay.
Zach Gallen, Meryl Kelly.
Madison Bumgarner is the murderer.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
100%.
There's something just like not there with Madison
No,
Bumgarner. Like
yeah, right.
the fact that he's like a rodeo clown and has like an entire
Whoa,
like
hold
altar-
on. Wait, let's get this straight. Okay. Madison Bumgarner is not a rodeo clown. I take offense to that. Madison Bumgarner is a baseball pitcher. Mason Saunders
Whatever. It's the
is a
same
cowboy.
person.
He is a
He literally
calf
already
roper.
has.
There's
he
a big
already
difference
has.
between
He already
a rodeo
has an
clown.
alternate ID. He already has an
Okay.
alternate personality.
That
What if he has?
that's definitely
What if he has
serial
multiple
killer behavior.
personality disorder and he just uses that as a front to make it seem normal? And his
All right, let's write
Mason
this
Saunders
down.
murders people.
I'm going to write this movie, so I'm
Mason
just gonna keep
Saunders
listening
is
to
a
her.
murderer.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
Okay. So who's the first to go? Zach Gallen or Meryl Kelly? And who survives?
I think Zach Gallen is the first to go.
Oh, he's such a sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy, but he also like, I think his like chill vibe, like long
She's right.
hair.
She's right. She
like,
gets it.
He's
Yeah.
not gonna survive.
No, he's
Zach
not.
Gallen's gonna get
He's
murdered.
gonna have like headphones on and sitting on a couch, just not paying
Yeah,
attention, just get it
yeah.
from behind. Yeah.
And I think Meryl Kelly survives because he spent a lot of time in Korea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's cultured. He has a lot of experiences. Why are you guys laughing at me?
He fought ghosts over there.
Thank you.
Obviously.
So, I feel like he's seen some shit in Korea, so he's going to be able to figure out how to survive a murder.
All right. I can't argue with this at all. This is all great logic, and I'm I'm floored by this. All right, I'm going to give you one more real one with real players. Josh Rojas, Pavin Smith, Dalton Varsho.
Paven Smith is a murderer.
Yes,
He's a ginger.
Yes.
Paven
Nailed
Smith
it.
is a murderer for no other reason than the fact he's a ginger.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my. Hey, she said it, not me. All right, just make sure that we'll put that on her.
Gingers
Right.
don't have souls.
Oh
Therefore,
my God,
he is
she's
a murderer.
doubling down on it.
I have a running theory that Paven Smith named himself. What kind of name is Paven?
Again, that's murder. That's serial killer behavior. Okay.
Paven Smith's a murderer.
Okay, so Josh Rojas or Dalton Varsho, who's surviving? I feel like this is an easy answer here.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, don't get me
because
wrong, they're both scrappy, so I get.
I think Josh Rojas survives.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
answer. Yes, no one's
Okay.
killing Josh Rojas.
No, he's
No.
I think Josh Rojas survives. He's
Right.
very resourceful and he's
He
very
might become
smart.
the murderer after he survives. That's the kind of person
If
that
you witness like a murder, that does some shit
it
to
changes
people.
you.
Yeah, it
as you can
changes
attest to.
Allegedly.
All right. Dalton Varsho, sorry, buddy, you didn't make it.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to give you one more, and this one is just for fun. D. Baxter, Randy Johnson from the Legends race, or Rat Leon. Their mascots.
Oh, God. All right, hold on. Okay.
Randy Johnson from the Legends race. It's important. Different distinction.
Randy Johnson from the Legends race dies first.
Yes.
Homie's got a big ass head. You can
Right.
see him.
You can't, yeah, you can't see right. Right. Cannot maneuver around. He's fast. He's fast, but he has to go in a straight
He's
line,
not
right?
fast, though.
He's got
He's just comparably fast to the three other people
Okay,
that have
that's-
large ass heads on them trying to run on a warning
right.
track.
All right. So who's
Randy
the
Johnson
Okay.
Legend dies first.
Yeah, I agree
Easy
with that.
target.
Yeah, I
You
can't
can
argue.
snipe that shit from-
I can't argue any of this logic that you've nailed all of these so far. So, who survives and who's the murderer? Baxter or Rat Leon?
I think Rat Leon's the murderer. 'Cause
Yes.
That shit's creepy.
He's creepy as hell. He should have never existed.
so creepy.
Like, and he feels like, I don't know, like some sort of opposite of Baxter. Like he would be Baxter's evil,
yeah,
like
like an
side.
evil twin.
Yeah, like an evil
Or,
twin.
well,
yeah,
they're not twins.
Right.
But like an evil, yeah.
like
It-
he'd want to replace
It's
Baxter.
just unnatural. That entire thing is unnatural. So
Oh, and then Baxter survives.
I think Baxter survives. He's a bobcat. Cats
Baxter-
are smart. They're quick.
This is Baxter number 5, but yes, Baxter.
Well,
You can find out about that on
I think
gophnx.com.
Baxter can survive. He's
Yes.
he's a smart. Cats are very intelligent.
They are. They
and
are.
He can survive.
Obviously, I mean, he's got a lot to deal with downtown, like I've talked about. You got the light rail that's really quiet. He's got to watch out for that.
Right.
I mean, he's just in the inner city dodging cars and such. I think
Yeah.
that he does survive. Well, thank you so much
You're
for.
welcome.
This is our resident expert in murder, obviously.
People are gonna
because
think I'm a serial killer or
She
something.
nailed that, and I am going to call the police. But
I kill you first.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this special edition. Again, World Series picks. Obviously, we don't agree here, but I think it's going to be just a great World Series. I mean, I really think it has that potential to be an all-time classic. I think we saw some great baseball throughout this playoffs. You know, again,
yeah, for sure.
not knocking the Dodgers because they had a series with the Giants that took everything out of them, right? I think that the Astros are that's one thing the Astros don't really have going for them is I feel like they're still reeling a bit from, their changes at starting pitching and everything. But
Yeah.
if they can get everything figured out, I think that's going to
Who do
be
you
a
have
little
winning
hard.
tonight?
I for some reason I feel like the Braves are going to take game 1.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
Braves
the Braves
win.
winning tonight.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. They know what they're talking about over there. Go lock it up. Money line.
It's Charlie Morton versus Valdez.
Yeah, that's the big
I
thing.
got
is
Charlie
Morton.
all day, any
Yeah,
day.
absolutely. Well, we agree on that at least. So thank you guys so much for watching us. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at @cap_caveman with a K. She is at Makayla Perkins.
Makayla
E.
Perkins.
Perkins,
I had to
excuse
slide
me.
my middle initial in there because apparently there's like 80 Makayla Perkinses out there, which is stupid because obviously I'm the best one. So like I feel like I should have capital on the Twitter handle, but I don't. I'm a little salty about it in case you couldn't tell.
I'm a little worried you're going to go murder these other Makayla
That's a good
Perkins.
idea.
That there can only be one. But
That's
I
a
mean,
good
that's
idea,
just,
though,
I've been watching too much Rick and Morty.
I'm way more worried that she's going to team up with them.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Ooh.
Oh,
What if they're all obsessed with murder as I am, and then we just have an army of Makayla Perkins?
this just got terrifying. All right. Well, you can follow us on Twitter, like I said, but of course, all roads lead to @PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Makayla is our queen of the social media, so please go follow us there. So she'll be happy
I'll be very happy.
Also, please sign up for a membership over at gophnx.com. You can get the annual membership, which again will get you a free t-shirt. There's some awesome shirts out there. There's a brand new Cardinals one that's just incredible. I think the Coyotes one is back in stock.
The Coyotes one is back in stock.
So yeah, I mean, see, without Jesse being here, I can actually say go get the Coyote shirt because it's incredible. But while you're there, pick up a D-backs PHNX shirt. Get whatever you want. Members, by the way, still get wonderful discounts over at the PHNX locker. So make sure to become a member. And if you like the shirts, if you like the merchandise, slowly you will get it all if you become a member and utilize those discounts. But again, if you are watching this right now on YouTube, please go over to your favorite podcasting app, subscribe to us there, drop us a 5-star review. If you're listening to us now on one of those apps, jump over to YouTube, subscribe to us, and sign up for notifications. You'll get all the wonderful Arizona sports content. And if you're an Arizona sports fan, hopefully you'll enjoy that. Hopefully Makayla doesn't kill me after this podcast, but who knows? She'll very much know what to do with the body for sure. I know that.
If Derek doesn't show up tomorrow, it wasn't me.
Whatever. She really doesn't like the shirt, and I'm going to go make her watch David Pumpkins right now. But thank you guys again so much for watching. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you murder it.
Woo!